Alright, so here is my assignment for CSS with, well, using JavaScript, so attaching and detaching classes is what I'm assuming. I didn't really completely understand what it was saying, I don't think, but that's what made the most sense to me. So anyway, I just have these three boxes. When you click change color, it'll change. You can change it back, so you can do it as many times as you want. One thing I did run into though is every once in a while, so I just refreshed it. The first one will always work, and then these two, the first time you click them won't, but then they start working just fine and as expected after that. So I don't know what was causing that. I don't know if it has something to do with some hoisting or if I somehow am not bound to the correct scope. I'm not sure. So that's one that I am a little bit curious about. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the code. Alright, so here's the code, or the HTML at least. And basically all it is this header, and then I have these three containers that each have their own button and, you know, the title, box, whatever, with an ID of box. And in the JavaScript, all I'm doing is I have a standard box, which is that class box, and then I grab each button, a reference to each one, and then I created these three different objects. So I have object 1, 2, and 3, and they each have the name of box 1, box 2, box 3, and then I made different classes that is a different change color of 1, 2, and 3, just so there was some variety more than anything, and then a dirty flag so that I know if it's been changed or not. And then I wrote this function of change color. It passes in the item, which in this case is the object, and then it grabs that object by ID, sets it to box, and then I'm checking just to see if it is dirty or not. But if the dirty is equal to false, then it'll remove the current class, and it will set the new class to whatever it is in that specific object, and it'll set the dirty flag to true. And then if not, and it already is true, then it'll remove that class and add the regular box class back and set the dirty flag back to false. So this is where I'm doing the on click. I added these event listeners, and I am running it with an arrow function and then calling that change color function within it and passing it the object, because I know that I couldn't just call that function and pass the parameter instead of this arrow function, because then it invokes it right off, well, right as it loads. And so my only confusion is why does it work on the first button, but the second two have to be clicked twice. So I just didn't know if that had something to do with hoisting, or if there's a better way to be able to bind the correct scope, because I'm guessing it's a scope issue, which I find very interesting, considering that I define these buttons as consts outside of any of my functions. So anyway, that is like the only question I have. Other than that, I mean, it seems to work fine, and it was pretty interesting to work with.